So again, today on Facebook, come across this meme that somebody shared, just a black person being anti-African for whatever reason. So let's read this. It says, still don't know better? By definition, the word African is describing three different groups of people, two groups sent to America. The funny part is, he said by definition, but then shows etymology. So what's the difference? The definition of etymology is the history of a linguistic form, such as a word, shown by tracing its development since its earliest record occurrence in the language. Basically, it's the history of the word used. It's not the meaning of the word. All right, so now we know that he's showing the etymology, which is the history, but he's talking about the definition. So we know he's talking about two different things. So let's get to the meaning. It says etymology, which is the history. It says Old English Africanus, native or inhabitant of Africa. Okay, that's what African means. So now let's go to the first thing he's pointing to. It says used of white residents of Africa from 1815. So we know that's history. He's talking, so they're saying starting at 1815, white residents called themselves Africans or African. So why not, look that up? What are they talking about? One of the first things we need to realize is that Britain colonized South Africa in 1815. And the part that they colonized was the Cape of Good Hope. Without having to go too far into South African history, let's just read this real quick. The Afrikaners are a South African ethnic group who are descendants from 17th century Dutch, German, and French settlers to South Africa. The Afrikaners slowly developed their own language and culture when they came into contact with Africans and Asians. The word Afrikaners means Africans in Dutch. So there we get that. Now we tied it into why white people call Africans. Because the Dutch, who came there in 1652, settled in South Africa near the Cape of Good Hope. And then when the Dutch are there, they're fighting the British. They have these wars. British is English. We're talking an English language, etymology of an English word. And that is why we get used of white residents of Africa from 1815. The next line on the meme is used of black residents of the U.S. from the 18th century. That means we called ourselves African. And we did that through a couple different ways, through organizations such as the Free African Society, established in 1787. Okay, to his last point, when it especially meant one brought from Africa. So people brought from Africa were Africans, and sometimes was contrasted, so it was compared to native born Negroes, saying people born here with African descent. Native in this context means belonging to or associated with one by birth. And Negro is a person of black African ancestry. And for the anti Africans, the 1828 Webster Dictionary says a native or descendant of the black race of men in Africa. The word is never applied to the tawny or olive colored inhabitants of the northern coast of Africa, but to the more southern race of men who are quite black. So, yes, Negro means people from Africa. So, yeah, memes like this are designed to confuse you. Most likely made by some Russian bot. But, these anti African people, they get fed these myths about the slave trade and this and that, and then they get confused. Just like showing you etymology and then talking about definitions. The history of the word African has been used with black people coming from Africa and being born in America. That's just it. There's no way around it.
Like, now you from Africa.